is up, YouTube, and welcome to the Race Flays Radio Show. This is going to be another amazing evening. Holy moly, holy moly. This is part 2 of Remembering Blockbuster Music series. Last night we had DGS619 on the show, his brother. It was an awesome conversation, and hopefully you caught that. If you didn't catch that, go back to YouTube and watch that live. It's under the live tab. Click on the live tab. You'll be able to see that replay of the interview with DGS619. He helped us to remember the great Blockbuster Music. If you don't know who Blockbuster Music is, he was an amazing streamer, a brother, a friend who actually, unfortunately, at a very young age in October, unfortunately lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. Tonight's guest was a very good friend of Blockbuster Music, and he's going to help us bridge the gap between the connection between Chicago, all the way in Chicago, and San Diego, and it'll give us a little bit more information about how this connection happened and where Blockbuster Music is from. So if you're just joining us, welcome in. DGS619, by the way, in the chat. DGS619, DGS619. Painting Polish in the house. Welcome in, chatters. Welcome in, chatters. Everybody in the house. DGS619 in the chat. Let's go. This is night 2, Remembering Blockbuster Music. Please help me welcome my guest, Mr. Lattenhouse, to the show. What is up, Mr. Lattenhouse?
What's going on? What's going on?
How are you, my friend?
You know me behind the scenes, man.
It's so good to see this face right here. This is the jolly face of Mr. Lattenhouse. He's an amazing DJ on your Twitch. If you're there, it is. Thank God for Painting Polish. The link is in the chat. If you're not following Mr. Lattenhouse on Twitch, you don't know what you're missing. Lattenhouse is an amazing, well-known DJ from Chicago, and he puts us all together. His behind the scenes, his marketing, his knowledge of Twitch, his knowledge of Discord. He gets us all together. If there's a raid train, last night we were talking about raid trains. Guess what? He's the guy that puts it on. So hold on a second. I think we have a caller. We have a caller. First time caller. 911. This is your operator. How can I help you?
I need Caleb home now.
Oh, what's going on?
What's going on? He has to do his homework. I called you earlier.
Oh, okay. We'll be there in 1 hour, okay?
What?
All right, caller. Thanks for calling. We'll talk to you in a bit. You always get crazy callers on the show. Holy moly, holy moly. Mr. Caps is on the show if you're just joining us. Holy moly, holy moly, holy moly. Hold on 1 second. Crazy callers. Hold on 1 second. Let's put you on. Let's do a little commercial break. I've never had a call like this. I apologize to our guests, to our fans. Hold on 1 second. I never had a call like this. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna follow this cable all the way, and hopefully we can get this thing back on. Holy moly, that just brings, oh my gosh, great. That just gives everybody time to come on in. Holy moly, Painting Polish in the house, TGS619 in the house, Irish Eyes in the house. Let's go, Irish Eyes, let's go. Is that the Irish Dragon?
Probably
the Irish Dragon, huh? Irish Eyes, commercial break for phone call. Yes, we had a crazy caller. Sorry about that. This show gets very popular, and sometimes we get these crazy callers. Sorry about that. Holy moly!
Yeah,
yesterday,
we're not staying on for an hour. This might be a while.
Huh?
We got some stories to talk about.
Beautiful. Love it. DGS619 was on the show yesterday. Mr. Ladhouse was in the chat as well, always getting kicked out because of his caps. Streamlabs loves to kick him out of my show as always, which is the best part of the show, by the way. The interaction between him and Painting Polish is priceless. We love it. Holy moly. Yesterday we got to know more about Jerry, and I thought it would be great to have somebody that knew him very well on the show. But first, let's get to know a little bit more about you, Mr. Lattenhouse. You are a famous DJ in the house area there, Chicago area. Is that correct?
Yeah, somewhat. You could say that. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm known here in Chicago.
Yeah.
For all my shenanigans, of course. Yeah.
What years were you active?
I started DJing back in 88, 89.
Oh, crazy.
When I graduated from 8th grade. Over the summer, I just started taking, just wondering about it.
In 8th grade, you were DJing?
Yep.
Does everybody in the chat understand the parties that were going on in the 80s? For an 8th grader, what were you seeing?
There were battles, of course, between party crews here in Chicago. South side versus north side, of course. Usually there were like dances, Valentine's dances. What else was there? There was Easter dances. Anything to make a party, they would do it. Memorial Day dances, July 4th dances, and the summer dances, Halloween dances, Thanksgiving dances, stuff like that. So
awesome. So dances for festivals, celebrations, stuff like that.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So the club scene, what that wasn't around yet?
I started DJing at my first club when I was 14, 15 years old.
Was that more? That was more to the 90s, getting into the 90s, right?
That was getting into the 90s, yeah.
90s, and then when I was in high school, 92, 93, that was like house was in. So like like house parties, raves,
like
and stuff like that.
Chicago house, like old school house, yeah, like hip house.
Yeah.
Classics.
Mellow
like
house,
so,
different things.
Yeah, tallow house,
Hell yeah.
So.
Irish Eyes says she or he is not Irish Dragon. Irish Dragon does not do YouTube. That's what it says in the chat.
I can confirm that Irish Eyes is Irish Dragon. So.
Irish Dragon is messing with us. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Irish Eyes. Holy moly, Irish Eyes. So the scene was like this people celebrating parties, birthday parties, Easter parties, different parties. And you've got like a van full of speakers. Like your 8th grade, is your pops dropping you off at this party, or what's going? How do you even get there?
Well, I was doing parties at the Boys and Girls Club right behind my house.
Oh, crazy.
So, yeah, basically I would just like with a bunch of friends wheel. Well, we wouldn't wheel. They would be carrying my speakers, carrying my milk crates full of vinyl, carrying my flight case, which was, one of them really big ones.
Holy moly.
And basically just going down the back alley and then going through the back entrance of the Boys and Girls Club, setting up and basically just partying. We had the old police flashers, the lights that were on top of each speaker, thinking we were cool and everything. So yeah, those were good times back then. Yeah.
Did you ever have your traveling disco ball with you, like the silver ball?
Actually, that was there at the club. So all
perfect.
we had to do was just aim a spotlight towards the middle of the gym.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would brighten up everything. So.
Awesome, crazy. And then towards the 90s, and then you get into the 2000s. So you're DJing. Are you DJing in the late 90s and 2000s as well?
I stopped around 96, 97.
96, and you stopped for how long?
97. I stopped till maybe around 2008.
Started in 2008, and at that time
I restarted again. So
yeah,
it was like a big 10-year layoff.
And at that time, how did things change? Was it more clubs? Was it more raves? What was going down?
I think the music was changing. I mean, but here in Chicago, it's so different from being on the north side of Chicago to the south side of Chicago, because the south side was more into the old school music, of course. So much stuck in the 60s, 70s, 80s, some of the 90s as well.
So the South is
Whereas,
old school.
yeah, whereas the north side of Chicago was evolving into some of the newer music that was coming out, some of the deeper house, the soulful house, the Afro house, the
Hell
Latin house,
yeah.
of course, was still going. Um, I believe Jackin House was back in. Back then, when I came back, there was a genre called Jazzy House. So a bunch of jazzy, instruments, no vocals. It was just basically all jazz with the house beat on the back of it. So it was
Hell yeah.
something interesting that I never caught eye to until one day in 2010. One of the DJs from the north side had told me that I needed to stop playing some of the older stuff that was being played on the south side and playing it on the north side.
They were
So
like, "Hey,
I
you're a
wound up trying to
Northie.
evolve.
You got to play the North
Yeah,
stuff."
so yeah, so wind up trying to evolve and start downloading new music, and just trying to get into it. And of course, the South Side wasn't into it because they were so stuck into their Angel Eyes and their All Night Passions and Let the Night Take the Blames and the Fast Eddies and the Tyree Cooper kind of music stuff. So um, still to this day, they're still stuck on it out here on the South Side. So um, you could try to play some of the newer stuff, and they just won't. They just won't dig it. It's basically the way Chicago works. So
So when you are playing gigs around Chicago, you kind of got to know where you're at. Like you got to be like, "Hey, if I'm in the South, I got to play like this. If I'm in the North, I got to play like this."
yeah, you'll know if basically it's just like when you're playing on the north side. You got to play music that's more newer. You could try to sneak in an old school track here and there, but it wasn't going to be too catchy. I used to have a residency on the north side at Exit Chicago, which was a uh, punk rock, uh, dark goth,
Oh hell
new
yeah!
wave alternative
Punk
club,
rock club.
and basically all we were doing was playing. I was playing alternative and dark goth music, so it was very underground. Where we were partying till like 5 in the morning on the second floor, and
You were DJing goth
we are
music.
yes,
Hell yeah, that's great. That's hardcore. That's freaking awesome. And
yeah.
like punk rock
So
too.
punk rock too, yes. So every now and then I could sneak in some rock in Espanol, but it was just like you can try it, but if they're not digging it, they're not going to be dancing to it. They rather stick with their 80s alternative music, and just basically something that's more into their wheelhouse. So
Irish Ice
yeah,
says you're
Mr.
Mr.
Goth
Goth
House.
House.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Crazy,
so
dude.
that
So
was crazy.
I love it. I love this is why I wanted to ask you this, because we kind of get a visual, we kind of get a feel for the different scenes that are in Chicago. It's different because in LA, it kind of goes in phases. It's like in the 90s, it was Pearl Jam and grunge and the whole thing for a long time.
Yeah.
I was a punk rock mohawk all the way to the top of my head, and still
Well, I
till
did not have a mohawk, but I did have like the marine look, but I left my hair long on the top, and I did have my hair dyed maroon back in the day.
there you go. See,
So
you're just like me. You're punk rock.
it was like a spiky maroon. So it was like you can see the spikes in my hair coming up, but it wasn't
Nice.
like a mohawk or anything. So yeah,
But that's pretty cool. You can like
crazy.
move around different areas. Here was like
Yeah, because on
either
the south side, then I could slick it back, throw on some grease, some monkey gel, and just let it get hard real quick, and then just like have it like somebody lick the top of your head
that's
and go
awesome.
party over there, and
And then
you
you were
know, be
rebelling it
like
out over
nothing,
there.
reveling it out. Yeah, that's all. So,
It's bringing back memories. All the different parties that were around here too. It's
oh
crazy.
yeah.
Oh man, it's out of control. What's the difference do you find going through all that, going through the 80s, going through the 90s, going through, you've been around for a long, long time. talk to me. Everybody has their COVID story. What happens during COVID? Are you playing gigs at the time, and then you're like, "What the hell? There's no gigs," like everybody else, or what happens
Yeah,
for you?
actually, we were doing gigs. I was very busy. 2019, I had a big. I can tell you, going into 2020, I had like my biggest gig. I had a gig the at the Hilton Towers downtown
Holy
Chicago.
moly!
The gig paid close to 2,500,
Oh
and
damn!
I was the DJ there pretty much the entire night from 7 in the evening till about 2 in the morning.
In
And
2019, going into 2020,
yes,
that kind of like New
and
Year's and parties and so just and nobody knew. Everybody was blindsided, like what was about to happen, right?
yeah, nobody knew what was going to happen. Happen. So I was working, and I wound up blowing my MCL and my meniscus on New Year's Eve at work at my last stop.
What is a
This was
meniscus? Is
around
that a elbow? Is it a toe? What is that?
the knee.
The knee. Holy
The knee.
moly!
Yeah. So my left knee, the tendons right behind your kneecap,
In
they
2020?
tore, and going into 2020,
Oh,
2019 New
jeez.
Year's
Bad timing.
Eve going into 2020. Yeah. So bad timing. I had all my equipment over there, and I told one of my guys to go take the gig. He could keep the money. And basically, that night I was in the hospital till about 1:30 in the morning. Um, and
Holy moly! How
there
did
was
you
nothing I
did
could
you
do. I
did you
couldn't even.
fall or something at work, or how does that happen?
I slipped on ice on residence stairs. So
Oh, jeez. Were you?
yep,
What was your
I
job? Were you
slipped.
delivering ice or something?
I worked for FedEx.
Oh, Jesus. So you're delivering a
Yeah.
package, dog tries to
Yes.
bite you, and you slip on some
No,
ice.
no dog,
Oh,
man. I just slipped. There was ice. I couldn't see the ice because it was already dark.
yeah.
4:30 in the evening, and I'm trying to hurry up, and I wound up tearing my MCL, my meniscus, and my left knee, and went to the hospital. Was there till about 1:30. Did X-rays, and I had to wait for the swelling to go down. The swelling on my knee was really bad, and then yeah, then that happened, and just wind up sitting at home for about a month trying to get healed, and nothing happened. Trying to do therapy that wasn't working, and then I wound up scheduling surgery, but I was still doing residencies here and there. And the day I was going to have surgery was the day the country got shut down. So I got a phone call that morning at 6 in the morning saying my surgery was canceled because of the
Holy.
pandemic that the country was going through,
They were only
and
doing like
everything was
emergency type surgeries at that time when it shut
right.
down.
And this wasn't an emergency at
Uh,
all. So
crazy,
yeah,
dude.
that happened, and everything shut down.
So what did you?
Everything
So what
shut
did
down.
they? You just stayed with your knee like that?
Yeah, I had to. I was in pain.
Oh my
So I
god.
was on medicines, on inflammatory medicine, until they figured out what was going to happen. They told me, well, hopefully this passes by, and we can try to see if we can fit you in within a couple weeks for surgery. Who knows? But that was just a guesstimate that they told me. Um,
It didn't
didn't
just go
know
by.
that.
It took years. So when did?
No, it actually took months. It
Oh,
took
oh,
months.
months.
So basically, when they shut the country down, it was my mother-in-law's birthday that weekend, and the following weekend, I should say, once they shut the country down. So we were very strict about going out. My wife at the time had took short-term disability because she was taking care of me at home,
Mm.
and wound up, um, we were off, and we wound up like, man, should we go? And it's like, well, it's your mom's birthday, we should go. Even though we got to distance ourselves, and they're not doing anything stupid or anything. So what's the chances of anybody getting sick? So we didn't know what was going to happen.
So you were
Well, so
there was a
happened that
was there a party planned or something like that? And
no, there was no party plan. It was just my in-laws, my parents, um, myself, my ex. The kids didn't go. We didn't wind up taking the kids. Um, and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, but they didn't go because they were worried about getting sick, and they didn't want to take no chances, which, we didn't blame them. So we wound up FaceTiming them and everything. And um, a week later, all four of them got sick.
Your
And,
your mother-in-law?
in-laws and my parents, my in-laws and my parents. Yeah.
Wow.
So then, one by one, they were all going into the hospital.
Oh my
My
God.
father-in-law went in first, then my dad, and then my mother-in-law, and then finally my mom. Well, my father-in-law wound up passing away first,
No,
and
what?
then he died like about a month after they got admitted.
Oh my
Then my
God.
dad died 2 days later.
Your dad?
Yeah, then my dad died 2
Oh
days
my
later.
God.
And then my mother-in-law died 3 days after that. And then my mom died 7 days after my mother-in-law did. So within everything, it happened between 15 days. They all died from
All four
one
of them
another.
passed away.
All four of them passed away. So
My God.
being hurt,
Sorry to
having
hear that.
the missus take off of work and being at home every day with me, and then finding out our parents caught COVID, dying from COVID,
Jeez.
and around Mother's Day, that's when the last one. My mom died on Mother's Day in 2020.
On Mother's Day.
So she was the last one. Yeah, she was the last one to go. And um, that Monday, they called me up saying that the country is going to be opening up a little bit, but not too much. We might be able to squeeze you in to have surgery. And I was like, yes, when? And they were like, May 19th. And I was like, out of all fucking days, May 19th, which is my ex's birthday. And I had to
Oh my
explain to her that,
God.
we were going to have surgery on that day. So I wound up having surgery. Everything went well. Came home. Everything was going good. And at this time, we're not even going out doing anything. We're still, coming home, going grocery shopping, making sure that we're covered up, wiping everything down, sanitizing it, and then putting it in the cabinets,
Like everybody.
like everybody was doing. And then we wound up catching COVID, me and my ex, on my birthday in 2020 in
Oh
August.
jeez. Both of you guys.
And
you're not
I
even
tried
going
roughing
anywhere.
it out at,
That's what was crazy
no, I
about
tried
COVID.
roughing it. Yeah, I tried roughing it out at home, and so happens that 7 days later, my oxygen level dropped to like 44%, and I had to be rushed to the hospital.
Oh, so you went to the hospital.
Yeah, she was still home, and the last thing I remember her telling me, because I had passed out in the ambulance, was, you better not fucking die on me.
Jeez.
And
Scary.
I wound up going to the hospital. Yeah, I was scared shitless. I couldn't breathe, and they wanted to intubate me, and I had already intubated my mom and my dad, and I'm like, I'm not fucking getting intubated. I think that fucking thing's gonna kill me if I get intubated. I'm not doing it.
You
So
told them
they
that?
just had as much. Yeah, I told them that, and they're like, "Sir, you need to try to do that. Try to get on. You need to get intubated." I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. I'd rather fucking die here, suffering that I can't breathe." So the best way to describe the way I was feeling in the hospital was if you were trying to suck air through a straw filled with jello. That's how hard it
Filled
was
with
to breathe.
jello?
Jello. Yeah.
Wow. It's like
So
you can't even breathe.
it was hard. You can't breathe, right? So it was hard. They had like 20 liters of oxygen going through me. There was nothing they can do, and uh, apparently they found this fucking antidote. Like 3 days later after being admitted in the hospital. And,
They were listening to the Joe Rogan show. And they found that zebra stuff.
Basically, yeah. So basically, they tried the antidote on me. Everything was going better for me. I was making the churn.
Oh, it worked.
But it worked. So I was the only patient on the floor out of, I believe they said it was like 140 something odd patients. They all passed away. I was the only one left.
What?
And they were like, well, we're gonna have to move you down to the next floor because they need to sanitize this whole floor. So they wound up moving me down. I was doing better, and basically, 10 days later, I went home. it was still a struggle at home because I had to be on oxygen. Plus, I had to do at-home therapy with my knee.
At the same time.
Um, at the same time,
Wow.
everybody, my ex was getting better. She felt better. She was getting
Thank
stronger,
God.
and then I was getting better. So she wound up returning back to work like mid-September
Hmm.
after dealing with everything that we went through. Um, in October, we decided to get divorced because too
Uh,
much had happened within the 9 months from getting injured to her going back to work. And it was like our lifestyles were so different. We weren't used to being home. It was more like she would go to work second shift, I'd go to work third shift, I'd come home first shift, see her in the morning, have breakfast, go to bed, wake up before she went to work, make early dinner for all of us. She'd go to work, I'd watch the kids, and basically, I'd have the whole night by myself. And then when she came home, it was put her to bed, go to work. It was a routine for 20 some odd years, man, that we were
schedules
doing.
different, missing each other,
and
passing each other,
and
seeing
then having to
kids.
deal, yeah, and
Uh,
then having to deal with each other every day, 24/7 for 9 months.
and you
It was
guys were
hard, man,
both dealing with the losses of your parents. And
and dealing with that too.
so there's a
Yeah,
lot
so
going on there.
a lot of words going back and forth between both of us. And the best thing was to just go ahead and just get divorced, and that was basically it. So I left everything. All I took
Wow.
was a TV, a recliner, my DJ equipment, and that was it. And I came to this place where I'm at right now. I started with that, and now I got a full house full of stuff here, or condo, I should say, and been here 4.5 years already.
Nice.
So it's it was hard back then. I mean, that was probably the worst point of my life, was knowing your dad was gonna die, and you couldn't speak to him and you couldn't tell him anything. All you can see was him taking his last breath through an iPad, I should say,
Dude,
and
that's crazy.
telling telling my mom that I think she should go on the intubator, because that might help. She didn't want to go on it. She was fighting. She was like, I want a DNR. I don't want to be resuscitated if I die, or if I'm going to die. And I said, okay. So um, I went against my mom's wishes, and I told the doctor to go ahead and put her out there. So they wound up sedating her. They intubated her. Um, that was 2 days before she died. They had called me back the next day and say she's doing really good. Everything was going better. This was that Saturday. I was helping one of my uncles move, and we were just making sure that we were keeping our distance as well. Um, then you hate them late night calls, and I got a late night call at about 3:30 in the morning going into Mother's Day that a mother turned for the worse, that her organs started to fail. So it was her kidneys, her liver. She already had one lung that collapsed. There was nothing they can do about it. They tried to, get it going again, and they couldn't. Her other one was working at 50%, and she was already intubated. So I'm like, the fucking life support is killing people.
It's
And
crazy because that's all they knew to do at that time. They were just incubating
right.
everybody, like incubators, incubators, incubators. And most of the time, once you got on that, you didn't get off. It was
No.
really crazy.
So basically, what happened was, they basically just went ahead and told me that the best thing for her to do was to, sedate her, take her off the what do you call it, life support, and see what happened. So she wound up living for another 12 hours
Mm.
off of it. But I wanted to talk to her while they were doing that, and they actually took everything out of her. They sedated her, and um, the nurses were in there holding the iPad towards her, and I could see her sleeping and everything. And I basically, told her that I was sorry for everything that happened. I did not mean for it to happen.
Of
I
course.
told her dad already passed away. She did not know that, and I told her I'm really sorry, and that I had loved her, and um, I regret doing this, and I know you didn't want me to do it, but I thought this is what was best.
Sure.
Um, and I seen her crying, and that haunted me for like the entire summer. And basically, once I got back to work in October, it it started feeling better. But then, coming home and realizing that you had, the divorce getting ready to be finalized,
Mm.
it was just like, there was nothing, to come home to. So when I moved, I was basically like, there was nothing here but my equipment, and
And you guys
I
have
wound up
kids too, right?
Yeah, we have 4 kids.
Four
So
kids.
yeah, they're all older. 34, 32, 30, and 24.
So they were all older during this time?
Yeah, this just happened 5 years ago. So they were all 29, 27,
Late 20s.
25. Yeah, late 20s, and then my youngest was 19.
Wow.
So I left, and I went back to work, and I had to start working because I needed to save money up to buy stuff for the house. I needed to buy a bed. I needed to buy a kitchen table. Needed to buy a living room set. I needed to buy stuff for the bathrooms and
Kind of rebuilding your
stuff like
life
that.
back again.
Rebuild my life all over again. So I was working 14-hour days, man. I worked 14-hour days, 6 days a week, for about 5 months, and
On a knee that just barely got recovered, by the
on a
way.
knee that just got recovered.
Jesus.
There you go. Yes.
Crazy.
So then I started doing all that, and I get a phone call from my youngest son because he was living with my ex at the time, and he's like, "Dad," he's like, "Can I come live with you? I can't live with mom anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, you can always come here. I got an extra room here." So he came. He bought his mattress. He bought his furniture for his bedroom, and he's all the kids are very independent, man. I mean, I think
Nice.
they learned from from their parents pretty much on survival tactics.
You guys did a great
It's
job of
like
raising them. That's
we
why.
did a great job of raising them because two of them are in the service. One
Wow.
of them's she's a chef for, man, I keep forgetting her name. I don't know if it's Amanda Nunez or the other Latina UFC fighter. She started a like a home prep healthy food catering business.
And one of her clients is
So that's who
the
my
MMA fighter.
yeah.
Wow, dude.
So she's the
Excellent.
headline chef there for them. So, and our youngest is going to be graduating from DePaul with his master's in actuarial science,
What
which
is
like
that?
a smart ass data entry clerk. I told him. He's like, no, that's not what it is. It's called actuarial science. So, and I
Actuarial
told him,
science. We'll look that up later.
yeah,
Holy moly. That could be a
you
whole
can look
show.
that up later.
Damn. Holy moly, dude.
So yeah, I mean, and then went back to work. He came living here with me, and still doing the 14 hours days. And then 2021, I get hurt again. I tear my right shoulder. I tore my rotator, my bicep, and my labrum.
From lifting the boxes
So
and throwing the boxes around and stuff like that?
what did I do? How did I tear this side up? How did I tear this side up? Oh no, wait, that's this side, the left side. The right side I did in 2015.
Painting
So
Paula
I
says
tore the
the
left side.
actuary does the stats for things like insurance. Is that true?
Yeah, that's all they do. Yeah,
There you go. He's like,
he's got a
yeah.
job. He's got a job waiting for him at Ion, which is a big insurance company. It's a
Nice.
corporate company here in Chicago, but he's gonna work. He's a manager right now at the Marriott, running the Starbucks there. So he's been doing that for 5 years. So he's been working full time, and he's been
Going to school.
going to school full time.
Dang, dude.
He's actually got his master's in 4 years, which is unfucking heard of, dude.
Smart freaking kid, dude.
Yeah, going to school during winter break, going to school during summer break, and he got his.
He's disciplined and he probably loves to study.
Yeah, so he's like, once we graduate, we're moving. He still thinks I'm going to live with them. That's the funny thing. So it's like, yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll see what happens.
Oh,
But
he's gonna
yeah,
work in hard and get his own place. That's
what
the
he
plan.
wants to do. So, and that's the plan.
Nice.
So,
Hell yeah, dude.
but all that happened, and then I wound up, April 21, tearing my arm up, and that's the same arm that I'm dealing with today. Still
What?
dealing with nerve issues. Yeah, I still got nerve issues with it. So there's my cut there. I had Tommy John surgery twice on this,
Like a pitcher.
and then yes, and I still got nerve damage.
4 years
And
of dealing with that.
4 years of dealing with this, still not working. Haven't worked since April of 21, man. 4/5 of 21. It was my last day of work. I tried going back in December last year.
I remember you said that when you were alive one time.
I was so excited. Yeah, I was so excited to go back, man. And they threw me to the wolves, man. They thought I was going to be the old Mr. Lattenhouse, be able to jump in and out of trucks. Man, I am half that guy from 4 years ago, man.
Just the arm wasn't having it.
My arm was not dealing with anything, picking anything up. The movements, the constant repetition of my arm moving, and it just wasn't. It's not there.
It's rough, there, and you're probably my age. How old are you?
I'm gonna be 50 this year.
You're my exact same year. What month?
August.
I'm June. So I got you beat by a month.
There you go. 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
So actually, the day that I'm going to be out DJing for the PCA golf tournament is my birthday weekend.
Are you going to do it you're going to DJ that thing? We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
That. Yeah. The Wizard of CV already confirmed that when I went out there in November. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, you're going to DJ it. We're going to bring you in so you don't got to worry about anything. So I'm going to be out there celebrating my birthday.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm gonna go out there and dance, and I'll have one golf club.
Golf.
Like this.
Golf. Yeah.
Like
Just
this.
Bring a hockey stick.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, bring a hockey stick. It's the same thing. I've seen what's his name? Adam Sandler uses a hockey stick to golf. Why can't I?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, yeah. Happy Gilmore. Right now. Crazy. Dude, so you went through...
Yeah, like I said, I've been off of work, and at that time that I had got, I was dealing with working and going through depression. I got introduced to Twitch. So I started watching gamers at that time.
This was in like 2020 to 21?
Like November of 20 was when around Thanksgiving, I started watching gamers. And then I started noticing that there were DJs on the platform, and I was like, well, wait a minute.
That's you.
On YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Well, why can't we stream on here? So I started watching a little bit more in detail on how to, do everything. And then I noticed one of the guys here from Chicago was DJing on there. And he had told me how to run it, how to set it up, what to download, how to do it. And that was basically it. So, me working so much, the only time I had to stream was Sundays.
That was your day.
I would stream that was my day, was Sundays. And that was the only day until I got hurt in April. And then, I started streaming. It was stupid ridiculous because 22, 23, and 24, I made it was stupid money. Last year was kind of lower than the other 2 years, but 22 and 23 were really good years on how much money I made.
So it's better than FedEx.
It was close to what I was making at FedEx.
Wow.
On a regular 40-hour week.
That's freaking awesome,
you gotta remember,
dude.
I wasn't working a regular 40 hours a week. So I had my workman's comp money coming in plus Twitch money.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, okay. Between both, I was, I don't know, maybe around 75, 80.
Holy moly, it's more than I make.
I was going good. It was going good, man.
That's before they started taking a cut. Are they taking a cut now?
That's before, yes.
Dude, because it was the Wild Wild West back then. Even when I started, it was still the Wild Wild West. So now they're taking a cut.
Now they take their cut. So
how was that affected you? Is it pretty bad? I don't know because I don't make any money off of it. So I got like three subscribers. So I have no idea.
So it's like off of every 100, you probably make around 50, 55, 60 bucks.
So they're taking almost 50%.
Almost 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freaking royalties.
So, but when I was donating to charities, everything, there was 100%. They weren't taking anything.
Oh, that's
So
good.
that was all tax. That was a tax write-off. So, which is good. Yes.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So around January, that's when we started doing the Battle of the Decades, January of 21. And we only did it with the Chicago DJs. So I did it for about 3 months, once a month, because I was like, I had to watch it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Fridays we would be starting in the afternoon, like around 4 o'clock, and we would end around midnight. Start back up on Saturday at 8 in the morning and end at midnight. And then Sunday, since everybody was going back to work, we would end it at 10 o'clock at night. Start at 8 o'clock in the morning as well. All Chicago guys. So it was basically, for the first 3 months, and you had to pick a decade. So
You had to pick a
it
year.
was either so it had to pick a year. It was either the 80s or the 90s. So basically the South Side Chicago guys. This is where the story comes back. Those were the guys that were streaming on Twitch. Those were the guys that were there. The bedroom DJs were starting to come out at that time and starting to stream on Twitch. So then I was like, I'm getting tired of listening to the same guys play the same music over and over again.
On your Ray Train?
On the Ray Train, yeah. So I mentioned it to one of the Chicago DJs here, Eddie Rampage. He introduced me to Sam Nation 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best fucking move that he has ever done. And Sam Nation just opened up the door to all these DJs that
Sam Nation's a beast. If you're not following Sam Nation, by the way, follow Sam Nation. Beast. Also, he has a great emojis that you can take from his website.
Yeah, he's got a free page. Yeah, SamNation3000.com. So,
DGS says that my birthday is the day after Jerry's birthday. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, my birthday's June 5th. That's crazy. What a trip.
That's the last day of the Ray Train.
The numbers, dude. The numbers, like he was mentioning yesterday.
Train, yeah, May 30th through June 5th. So actually June 4th, I think what DGS said is that he's going to try to get DJs that were close to Jerry to stream for his birthday and be on the Ray Train as well. So
it's perfect.
Knock off two birds with one stone. So
hell yeah, dude.
But getting back to the battles back then. So I got introduced to Sam Nation, and I mentioned to him what I was trying to do and everything, and he gave me a list of DJs, and he told me just use my name and tell them that I recommended you, and basically it went from being Chicago DJs for 3 days, it became United States DJs. So
Whoa.
I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, because a lot of the DJs were like, well, why don't you expand it to like the 60s and 70s? So I said, all right, so it's going to be 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah.
So I got introduced to Gen Rock. I got introduced to Ricardo DJing, to L.A. Bellatini, to Danny P, KGB DJ, mainly a lot of the California DJs that are still to this date in that little clique.
Crazy, dude.
And going outside of California, going out to the East Coast with DJ Aviva and Grey Dog, and then here in the Midwest with Original Slack. So I seen where he was going. He was trying to get me out of that house scene, and it was a good idea to do that, because mainly all the DJs here in Chicago are house DJs. Very rarely will you hear a DJ do shit that I've been playing, and going all over the place. They're basically stuck to one genre, and it's house music.
Yeah.
Unless you get a mobile DJ or a wedding DJ, and there's, I can count them on both hands.
It kind of lets you do what you were trying to do before in the old days, where you were trying to play everything.
Right. So basically, the Battle of the Decades was actually a Battle of the Decades until the day I met Jerry, Blockbuster Music.
What do you mean? What do you mean it was a battle? What was the battle part about?
It was basically people were still picking their genres.
Oh, okay.
And they were picking their eras. So it was still a battle, considered a battle, until I met Jerry, because that day I met Jerry, and I was going through our messages, It was in 22, and I can honestly say that Blockbuster Music's first Ray Train ever on Twitch was the Battle of the Decades. So I got
Wow.
that on my fucking resume,
Hell yeah,
and nobody
brother.
can take that. So I got that, and he always gave me praise about it, about um, allowing him to play on his on my Ray Train, and this is where Jerry was Jerry, and Jerry will always be Jerry like this. So Jerry sent me a professional email the next morning, and it was basically explaining about how he was excited about participating on the Ray Train, and then thank you for everything, and he really appreciated it. It was his first Ray Train. He's like, the only thing I didn't get was, and I can just hear him talking. The only thing I didn't get was, you call it a battle of the decades, and it wasn't even a battle of the decades. Nobody picked their era. You let people play whatever the hell they wanted to. He's like, I thought they were supposed to pick an era and a genre, and I was like, yeah, but everybody's been doing that, and he's like, well, he's like, I like to be, specific with, with programs, and if I'm gonna be on another Ray Train of yours, it has to be, you have to run it the way it's supposed to be ran. And
Oh
I
wow.
think in my eyes, yeah, he basically told me that.
I
So
love this.
Jerry was the bossy part.
He
Yeah,
was
he
okay.
was.
This we're getting a different side of, of Jerry tonight. I love
That's
this.
how he was. Yeah, that's how he was. So it was.
Beautiful.
And then I heard a voicemail that he had sent me about. It was still bugging him. A month later, about how I was running the Battle of the Decades and how it should be ran. And if you're gonna go pick a decade and you need to pick an era, then that's considered a battle. You can't have guys jumping from the 70s and 80s and
He likes
doing
that
this stuff
structure.
and that. Yes, it's got to be firm, and that's always been Jerry. So, and
You made us pick it when we did the last Battle of the Decades. I picked it. I was stayed in the program. I picked like the 60s.
Yeah. So, I met Blockbuster Music through Sam Nation.
Through Sam Nation, okay.
To him, yeah.
That's
so
the connection.
He's
Okay.
like, you need to ask him. He's a really good DJ. He's very underrated. Sam said, and basically, he's like, he's got the talent to do it. He just needs he needs the platform to get out there and expose himself. And I think Jerry did that on his own, because his knowledge of music, I never met him, and this probably the only thing that I regret was not going out there when I had the chance to go out there to meet him.
It was all through Twitch, like us, right?
It was all through Twitch, yeah. But the day that I did meet him was unfortunately the day that we had the funeral for him. And I went up there and I told him how I felt, and I'll just leave it at that. I won't say too much about it, but one of the biggest regrets in my life was not meeting him, because Jerry actually made me realize that the music, not to stick to the same platform, not to play the same music over and over again. The reminder, and just whenever I needed something done, or if I needed a little advice. And for him being younger than me, it was just like, as far as like what type of Ray Train to run, and stuff like that, what ideas you think. And he was there, he was there most of the time.
I didn't even know him, and I'd hit him up with a couple of questions and he would answer. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And I was like a fan of the show. I was like, whoa, he answered. That's crazy. So it's pretty awesome.
That went on for a while, and then I was going through some of the messages that we were going through, and it was just amazing, because I can hear him talking through the messages, after speaking with him through the phone. So inviting him to some of the Ray Trains, and him saying, well, I'm not going to jump on the Ray Train. I want my normal spot for the Sunday nights you got to chill. And if it's not available, I'm not going to do it.
Wow. So he had that like diva thing going on too. I love it.
Yeah.
He had some demands.
And
some Heineken's like, better be in the mail, and they better land here on Monday before I start the show.
If it's gonna be the battle of the decade, you need to stick with the program, basically. basically. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that was Jerry. So
Well, he
um,
had something special. He had that show, and he had that charisma on the show, and he had a special way that he ran the show that shined through. So all you had to do, like you said, give him the platform, and he did his thing.
he went out there and shined, man. I mean, he made a whole community um get together and still doing it.
Yeah,
Um, it's a shame because we Twitch did actually lose a good one, and
big time.
he's gonna be missed. I mean, he's still missed, man. I mean, it's 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 sad that he's gone, but Jerry's still around. Jerry still lives within us. It's just certain things that happen. Just like this morning, me and Miggy were playing, and um, DJS's mom was in the chat room, and I had told her that I was going through all our messages and listening to his voicemail that I have, and um, Miggy was playing the story between behind Bloodstone. He was playing Natural High, and I was like laughing to myself because I was on my way to the store, and I'm laughing, and I put in the chat room, I was like, "Oh, this song," and Miggy's like, "Well, what's the story behind this song?" I said, "Well, between Natural High and We Go a Long Way Back, Jerry messaged me, and he's like, Alex, he's like, Bloodstone plays more than those two tracks. You know that, right?" So I was
He's got that.
I
He
was
had
like,
that library of music.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I know. He goes, well, you can play some of my favorite Bloodstone tracks and this and that. And I was laughing. I was like, yeah, I know, but these are my favorites. He goes, well, a suggestion would be just to, and I can just hear him because this is all through messages, and I can just hear him talking, telling me this, and it
Yeah,
was funny because then I started going through everything, and um, it was just like, man, he's never gonna be away, and it's like I told DJs, you know, I will never, ever, ever do a stream on Sundays. I don't care. You can be God, but it would have to be DGS to invite me on a stream for Sunday because it doesn't feel the same streaming. I tried it, last week in the morning, and it hurt me so much.
so you haven't streamed
And I
on a
was like,
Sunday since.
yeah, I'm not gonna do it no more. So it's like I did it the week before with DGS, and I rated him, and it didn't feel right rating into him, even though that's DGS. It's my bro.
Yeah,
But I'm so used to rating Blockbuster at that time at night, and it hurt me, and it still hurted me,
of course,
even
dude.
that night. And I was like, I can't do this. It's like it's hard.
Yeah,
It was just like I was so used to him being there, and then seeing his background on DGS's stream was like, man, that was touching, man. It hit me. It hurt me, and I get choked up every now and then when I speak about him and
sure.
Twitch, and it's like he meant a lot, and it's like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met Icy Vamp. If it wasn't for him, I would have met DGS. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met his entire family. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met his community of Twitch people that he introduced me to. And it's like, it's just that circle of life, man. From Sam Nation, meeting all these great DJs on the platform. And, you have maybe two handfuls of DJs that that you can run into. And, and it just expands to another world, man. And it's just like, the way we still talk with these DJs that we've met through Blockbuster, it's amazing, man. And it's gonna keep going on and on and on still, man. It's
Yeah.
not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. I was telling somebody about how Twitch is becoming so big headed lately because
Mm.
of everybody's trying to do this partner push and whatever.
Oh, really? What is
Everybody
that?
has their opinion about.
What's going on with that?
It's where you get the purple check mark on there, So,
But is that you have to
people
have?
are like, you could.
Isn't that the next level after affiliate?
Yeah, you could. If I guess there's certain perks to it, people are saying that you get paid a little bit more, but whatever.
But you'd have to have that many followers, right, to get it, don't you?
You got to have a popularity, dude. That's all it is, And see, I think differently. I'm a different fucking breed, and I'm sorry. I can put myself in my own category, man, because I'm not being egotistical and I'm not being big headed. The reason, and every DJ here in Chicago knows that when I do it for the love of music.
Yeah,
I'm not looking to gain any money out of it. People ask me for music, I give it to them. I don't ask anything in return. I've done so much for others on Twitch that I neglected myself.
Mm.
And that's been for 4 years. And that's where the story flips around, where last year, 2024, at the beginning of the year, I wound up catching Bell's palsy. I'm still dealing with it.
You got that? I got that one time too myself. It's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
It's the
worst. I still have it.
My whole side of my face went down. And I couldn't blink, like my left eye.
Worse. It was like really soggy. I mean, it was sagging bad.
Damn.
It's better now. It's it's getting there. But
Icy Vamp in the house.
2024, I wound up catching it on my left side, and I thought I caught a stroke. And they were 99.9% sure that it was Bell's palsy. So, dealing with that 2024 and just a bunch of other crap with workman's comp and and then this year catching the early stages of stomach cancer. It was just bad. And then burying Jerry, dealing with his family, his mom, his dad, him, dealing with cancer, and then meeting all of them in November, and then 3-4 months later I wound up catching it. What a fucking coincidence.
I was gonna say, dude, what the hell were you guys drinking? Or like, gee, it's such a crazy thing.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, and they've been so supportive. There's certain people that I'll really open up to. They're mainly one of many that I open up to, but it's a very selective many.
Of course.
Icy Vamp, another one. Icy Vamp, I always see as that sister that I never had, because I did lose my 3 sisters when I was younger.
What?
That's another story.
Yeah, you got to come back on for that one, brother.
We have to come back on for that.
Patch that
yeah, I
for
always
sure.
see Icy Vamp as my sister, man. I mean, I can call her any time of the day if I really need somebody to talk to. I know she's there.
Yeah, she's amazing. She brings us all together. I mean, she brought us all together.
She's introduced me to DJs that have been on my train too, and it's like, hey, I need some DJs, and she's like, well, call this guy, let him know.
I only got on that one for when Jerry passed that night, because she couldn't do it, and she was kind enough to pass it to me, and that's how I ended up getting on. It's crazy. It's such a coincidence.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because, like I said, Jerry has introduced us to a lot of people, and it's crazy because Jerry was one of my biggest critics, man, out there, and he always kept me up on my
sharpened you up
on the rate train. Yeah, he's always done that for me. So,
what did you when he first got diagnosed? Like, what were your thoughts? I mean, I know, like, he was so young.
I went to the with him.
Yeah.
I found out from him. Actually, I got the message from him. Let me pull it up real quick. I want to read it because I don't want to do anything stupid. Oh, this is. I'm going through some of these. He's like, really, you? He's like, we're doing a night for my dad.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I did the night for his mom, and he actually told me, he's like, hey, Alex, he's like, I really want to thank you. Actually, this was the first time he called me brother. And he's like, I want to thank you for doing that tribute for my mom. And I bet she really enjoyed it, man. He's like, you did play a lot of her songs. He's like, I don't know how you got them, but you played them. And he's like, I really enjoyed your set. I really loved when he told me because the night that I got the phone call from him when he went in for treatment and tried to stream for an hour, he was listening to me. He told me to jump on because he couldn't make the full 2 hours. So I said, yeah, I'll jump on. That night, I wound up playing for like 3-4 hours, and he messaged me that next morning, and he told me, he's like, that's the way you should be playing all the time. And that stuck with me forever.
Wow.
He's like, it was probably one of my better nights, man. And I have that recorded. Nobody has that set but me. Oh, and actually one other person. I'm not going to name that person.
Nice.
So there was one other person that has it, and that was probably one of my better sets, man. So
holy moly. So he was, I mean, he was like we talked about yesterday, when he was sick, he was still trying to stream and still trying to make it through these raid trains.
Yes, he was. So I'm trying to get to this message right
and,
now.
I mean, DGS was saying yesterday, pancreatic cancer is one of those that is hard to screen for, and by the time you catch it is already super late in the stage, so it's hard to survive. It's crazy. I was showing a friend when I was talking to, I was doing this show, and I was talking to a friend about Blockbuster. I was like, dude, this guy's passed away. And I showed her a picture, and she's like, he's so young. Like, how's it even possible? And, so it's just crazy. It's insane.
So I had made the new flyer I told him, here's the new flyer for the three-headed monster. We're going to call it from now on Sunday Fun Day. Okay. This message was sent out.
Thanks for the sub, Icy. Appreciate it. Let's go.
This was sent out February 4th. Okay.
February 4th.
And I basically, I made that's the one where you could see I'll show it to you right here. This is the flyer.
Oh my God. So cool, dude. The 3 right there.
So,
That's sick.
I told him, I said, this is going to be, this is going to be the new flyer. This is the one we're going to do. We're going to be using it. We're going to call it Sunday Fun Day. So just come out and play. And then this is where I get the message from him. And basically, he says, hey, what's up, bro? He's like, I'm still not able to commit to anything yet as of now. He's like, my streaming is going to depend how I feel on the day of stream. He's like, I'm not sure if my mom or dad or my brother mentioned to you. But he's like, I'm going to tell you since I think you should know. He's like, I'm about to go under chemotherapy on Tuesday. He's like, I've been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Mm. So you find out from just chatting with him back and forth. That's the moment right there.
He says every day is something to deal with. He says, as much as I love streaming on Twitch and keeps me motivated and connected with all of you, he says this is probably this is more difficult for me to say that I can do this. He's like, but I just can't right now.
Of course.
He's like, I want to go on. He's like, but my body's not letting me. He's like, I'm supposed to go on tomorrow for my Tuesdays high school music from my high school years raid train, and I don't know if I can right now. He's like, just keep sharing the flyer. He's like, I like it. He's like, but could you use a better picture?
He still had some little feedback there for you, by the way. Dude,
I'm telling you,
copy
man.
and paste that somewhere, like 3 other places. That is, cherish that freaking message that you just read right there. Oh my God, bro.
I told him my thoughts, which I'm not going to say. It's
no,
too damn long.
That was enough, bro. That was, thank you for that. Amazing. If you're just joining us, we're with Mr. Latin House, one of the great DJs of Chicago. Thank you for coming in, Irish Eyes. Thank you for coming in, Icy Vamp, Painting Polish, everybody in the chat. We're just going through memories. This man knew him, and this is a day 2 of remembering Blockbuster music, the great Jerry. I'm so glad I brought in Mr. Lattenhouse. Yesterday was awesome as well, his brother. But Mr. Lattenhouse, somebody that was talking to him almost on a daily, and he was kind enough to share the very moment he just shared with us. If you just missed it, he just shared with us the message where Jerry had told him when he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So a beautiful, amazing message, bro. Save that thing. Obviously you are, but I'm just like, vault that thing somewhere or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have that. I have the other message here about um, any ideas of about running a ray train for the PCA for life. Well, actually, it started.
Wow.
It started as it started as it was supposed to be a ray train for him, and this was in April that we started doing this. So we were gonna run it the same time we're running it now, from May 31st. I think it was a 10-day ray train,
What was the PCA
and
connection? Why the pancreatic cancer? Did somebody have pancreatic or not pancreatic, like a prostate cancer?
his
That one, PCA is prostate
his
cancer.
prostate cancer. Yeah. So basically, his dad and his grandfather had that,
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
right. But Jerry was like, I don't want this ray train to be about me. This was supposed to be a ray train for Jerry. We were supposed to actually do this. This was going to be the battle against cancer for Blockbuster Music. And the message was, where is it at? He's like, I don't want it to be named after me. He's like, I think we should go somewhere else with this. He's like, I don't want any of the funds. He says, maybe we should rename it to the Battle of the Decades, the PCA for Life Ray Train. And I said,
Wow.
okay. I said, I think that's what we'll do then. So I wasn't going to argue with him at all. There was no way I was going to do this. But Jerry had input. He was constantly messaging me from April to like the day of the Ray Train. And Jerry was really on it. He
And that
was
was
like,
prior
hey,
to the ray train in October,
this was
obviously.
this was in 24 of
Yeah.
last year of May. So the message I'm doing you right now, or saying right now, is he goes, hey bro, he's like, you think I could get the flyer that you've been sending to everybody? I haven't received it yet. I've been checking my email. He says, thanks. And then the next message says, come on, bro. And I told him, okay, I'll send it to you. I thought I did send it to you. He's like, I would have got it. And then I told him, did you check your spam? And he's like, why would it be in my spam? I said, because a lot of DJs are getting it in their spam. So I said, I just send it to you again. And he goes, okay, I got that one. And then later on that day, he tells me, he says, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, I did see it in the spam, but I'm glad you sent it to me anyway.
Always, bro. That's always the case. Oh man, that's crazy.
So then he's like, I made you a list, and he sends me this list of DJs who he invited and who still DJs who have not confirmed. And the email or the message shows the scratch off names in red.
So he just started scratching people out.
He
Crazy.
started scratching people out, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
If you're
So
just joining us and you don't know what a ray train is, on Twitch, what we do is we have our own show. We might be DJing, and then we press a button where you can actually take all of our guests into the next person's show, and into the next person's show, and then the next person's show. And what we're doing is trying to build the audience and actually raise money for a good cause that these guys are putting on. And so that's what a ray train is somebody was asking that in the chat.
I love this one. This message he tells me here. This is that night before he goes to bed, because he says he's got to get up to go to work early. So he tells me, he goes, oh yeah, I forgot to mention to you. He's like, I love the email you sent out to all the DJs. He says, thank you.
But
It explains the instructions in detail for everyone on what to do. He goes, but listen, bro, one thing I made clear from here on out forward. He's like, I want you to let everybody know that the funds are going to my dad's charity and not to me. He's like, you keep talking about it on your streams. the money is going to me, and it's not. He's like, it's for pancreatic cancer, and that's my wish, and that's where I want it to go.
What a
He's
heart.
like, the main thing is I just really don't want people thinking anything is going on with me. This is the middle of May. Or it's going to be beneficial.
And he's full on sick
like,
at this time. He's full on pancreatic
May
cancer, going through the therapies,
yes.
And he's
So
like, give the money to his dad.
Yeah.
And Pancreatic
like,
Cancer Network.
Everything else he goes, everything else in the email is good. He's like, I liked how you typed it out. Everything was in full detail. He's like, otherwise, it's looking good, and I can't wait for it to start. He's like, I'm gonna be starting chemo the week of June 4th. He's like, my parents and Davey will be repping as much as they can for me on my behalf. So the first half of the train, I will be more involved. So towards the end, he wasn't around. So that's where we had brought Lena into Icy Vamped into it, and
yeah. She's saying that she got messages as well, and she's laughing away in the chat. So she remembers that.
At the end of the train, Jerry's message was like, between Jerry and Icy Vamp, Jerry goes, "Don't you ever run another 10-day race."
Wow.
He said it was too damn long.
Oh my gosh, that's classic, dude.
And Lena and Icy Vamp hit me up, and she's like, "I'm not getting involved in these long fucking raid trains."
That's what she said in the chat. 10 days. Oh my god.
So that he messages me on the 3rd of June, and he tells me, "Hey, there's a mistake on the flyer." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said Shao Lim hit me up and said that he was supposed to be on from 10 to 12 at night, not 10 a.m. to noon. And I'm looking at the flyer, and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what Icy Van told me. I said, let me see, because Manny Diz was supposed to be on at that time. And he just went live. So then
oh, man.
He says, I don't care who told you, but we need to fix this because I want it.
Holy moly. And, and he's in San Diego telling you this. Holy moly. This guy had some power.
Time. He's like, he wants Thursday night. He's like, we need to make this happen. He says he told Icy 10 to 12, but never.
I don't know how you keep track of all this stuff. The different times, the different time zones, all the different DJs. Some drop out, some drop back in. I don't know how you have a lot of patience. It's crazy.
I wound up making it all work, man, within an hour. I was messaging people. You know, this was before RayPal was even around or Red Labs.
Yeah, Red Labs is sick. When you use that, it makes it so much easier. You just give the code and everybody signs up.
So, yeah, it was funny, man.
Dang.
I sent him all the flyers and everything, and he was like, he told me, I think this was the last day of the Ray Train. He's like, so I told Icy Vamp that if I'm good enough later, feeling better today, that I could split her hour and take her first hour and have Father Damien raid into me instead of her. He's gonna freak out.
Bring in Father Damien. That's always the ringer right there. Father Damien will save the day.
I always remember that message. So I'll tell you an incident that happened on a Ray Train later on. So then he says that she can play the second hour. He says, I told her it depends on later. But I will know before he goes on. Could you let Father Damien know? And he's like, wow. But let him know right now. Don't wait.
Switching sets in the middle of a raid. That must be.
So I told him, okay, I'll let him know right now. He's like, okay. And then he constantly messaged me during the raid train. He goes, they messed up the pin link again. He's like, can you make sure they're putting the right link up? And this was like throughout the raid train from May 31st till June 9th.
Oh my gosh.
That I do remember. He's like, maybe you need to be a mod for all these channels and just put the link up yourself.
Oh, you don't have anything to do, just go ahead and be the mod too for everybody's channel. So, Jesus. Holy moly, dude. Crazy.
Eventually, Father Damien wound up raiding Icy Vamp because he came down with
What?
a cold. So yeah,
Father
so he was
Damien
sick that
rated
day.
Icy Vamp? That means Icy Vamp now
Yes.
has 9,000 followers. Because Father Damien is huge. He's like a rock star of Canada.
So I got the voice message from him on the 21st of July, which was the last time I think he streamed, was to go ahead and jump on. He's not feeling too good. And I know it there because I highlighted it and then I saved it and I checked it. So I know that's what it says. So basically, he had messaged me one other time. I'm not going to say what it was, but I kept tagging him, and then we did the raid train for him.
The one in October?
The one in October.
Yeah.
So
talk about that.
That night, yeah, that was probably one of the worst nights ever because those late night phone calls again. This time it wasn't too bad. It was 5 a.m. But why would somebody from a 619 area code and number I don't have saved be calling me? And I answered it. So the number looked familiar, and it was DGS's dad. And basically, I knew something was wrong that night when I got off stream because I wanted to go home. And I streamed right after DGS, and I heard DGS's big breakdown at the end there. And DGS had called me and had told me on Wednesday the reality of what was going on and that how he wasn't probably going to make the entire train. He didn't think he was, to be honest. And he caught his brother play, man. I mean, what more does he need?
Yeah.
It's it's a hard feeling, man. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Just
It was a tough night. It was obviously he's passing away. We're all going through it, but the beautiful moment that TGS described last night where he was streaming and his brother heard it and the acknowledgement of it, and then you come off as well, and then 4 a.m. I'm on as well, and then when I get off I hear the news, and it's just crazy because we're all there for that cause. And then it was just took the air out of me. Like in the morning, like I was like, dude, we just streamed for this thing, like, and now he's gone. It was tough for sure.
So I think we actually did another raid train before all this happened. I think we did one more, and I forgot what it was for, but Father Damien was on it again, and I think Father Damien was set to raid into Icy Vamp.
Father Damien's making Icy Vamp blow up. Holy moly. She's not gonna have enough space in that chat room for Father Damien over there. Holy moly.
Well, this one I had just put her on there, and I had told her this is the spot we got for you, and this is the spot you're gonna do on a Sunday. And, she didn't know who was gonna raid her until I told her the day of that Father Damien's gonna raid him. She's like, what? Again?
Poor Icy. Oh my god. Icy has no mods, by the way. She has like one, so it's very tough. Oh man.
That's funny,
Irish Eye says that he's got Father Damien on speed dial, and he's got the bat phone number.
Oh no.
Crazy.
Yeah, I got Father Damien on speed dial too.
He's a great guy. But, love that guy.
Like I said, Jerry has introduced me into a different world out there, and if I can, I will, if I can jump out there, I would jump out there, but in due time, I know I'm going to be out there in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm going to be out there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm going to be traveling back and forth from San Diego to LA to the Bay Area. So there's going to be a lot of traveling up and down. I got so much stuff going on. But like we're doing this Ray Train right now again, the one
Yeah.
that's coming up, the second annual PCA for Life.
Give
And,
everybody the dates on that.
It's Friday, May 30th through Thursday, June 5th. It's a 7-day train. So, our goal is still going to be the same. We're going to try to raise as much money for prostate cancer as we can. You know me, I like setting a high goal. So,
Yeah.
7 days, we can see what we can do. Hopefully, we can raise enough money. But yeah, it's going to be, I believe, 110 plus DJs. There's only going to be 90 minute sets. They're not full 2-hour sets.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Hour and a half is fine. More DJs. It's going to be a little more difficult, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. I'm not worried about it. I usually get worried about it the day or the week before, but
yeah, you did it last time where we did the hour and a half. I think it was with the intoxicators thing.
Look, I planned Ray Trains, and I've been doing it. DJ Rico Radio proclaimed me as the OG of the Ray Train. So I mean, I can put together a Ray Train in less than 24 hours.
Thank God for you, dude. It's amazing.
I've done it. I've been there. But the only reason why I'll do Ray Trains and organize them are for charity. I'm not doing it just for the fuck of it. There's other people out there that do that, and I'll let them do that.
Love it.
Me personally, this is the reason why I want to do Ray Trains, is to do it for charity work. I'm not going to do it for nothing else. I'm not going to just do it just for the hell of it.
That's what was surprising to me when I first got. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, cool, we're doing a Ray Train, but then I find out it's for a cause. I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm like all in.
So it's kind of hard when I did the Ray Train for myself, and
no, but it was good.
I really didn't want to. Well, I didn't want to because I didn't want the pity to be put on me. It's not like yeah, I used it. Yeah, it came in handy. But it if you don't know what cancer is about, it barely put a dent into what's still remaining there, man. So,
we'll talk about it. We were just getting getting over and still not getting over Jerry, but then we find out that you have stomach cancer, bro. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
So it's crazy. It's
how's your health? I mean, how's the prognosis going?
So everything's well.
Good.
I just went for blood work. My blood work's doing good. I'm on new medicine. The medicine is working. It's making me more hyper. It's making me more active. It just gave me this energy. It's been
boost of energy
doing it for the past couple days. Yeah, and it's like I don't know why. It's like it's nuts that it's.
I wonder if it's like like the stomach biome people talk about a lot online. A lot of how you feel.
Well, it's a little bit of
comes from your stomach.
So
a lot,
bit
right?
Of that. Yeah, it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of chemo that's in my stomach. So I'm going to actually show you a picture, and I hope you don't get grossed out by it.
Here we go, Raceflow exclusive.
I'm going to show you the actual tumor itself, man.
Your tumor?
So, yeah, I'm gonna actually.
Oh my God!
Nobody's bullshitting.
Holy, that's a freaking tennis ball, dude, in your stomach. Oh my God, bro.
So, the size
he's got the receipts.
Okay.
Holy crap.
So, everybody's stomach, okay? So when you go see a bariatric doctor, he's going to tell you your stomach size is almost about 2 fist sizes together. You put your fists together.
That's my stomach.
That's how big it is.
Well, I can't believe I put ribs in that thing.
That's your stomach there, okay? So just imagine the size of a lime being stuck there. And the problem with this tumor was that it was sticking. It was actually so. how can I explain it? Let me do it this way because I just did this earlier. So here's your esophagus, okay, and this is your stomach. So it's connected like that, and then you know how your stomach looks like a damn balloon like this. So
Yeah.
basically, the tumor was sitting like right here between the esophagus and the stomach area.
Oh.
So what I had done, it was called, fuck, I keep forgetting the name of it, laparoscopic and partial gastric surgery. So they took out 10% of my stomach
You did that for
and they
this
took out the tumor.
because of this?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I had to get done.
Because people get
I
like
could
stomach,
never eat.
surgeries and stuff like that. But this is specifically for the cancer.
Yeah, so I can never ever again eat spicy foods in my life ever again.
Oh
So
hell no! That's the
I am
worst.
done with
Dude.
salsas. I can't do salsas no more. I can't do carbonated drinks. No seltzer waters.
Have you tried?
No
Does it
club
just come up
sodas.
on you like immediately?
Sort of.
Mm,
But it's starting to calm down a little bit now.
crazy.
Because I'm on this medicine called Protonics, and it's for just helping your stomach, coat your stomach. So, no caffeine. So like I haven't had coffee in fucking 2 months, man.
Oh my god.
And I used to drink coffee basically all day. I could drink it at night.
I
do
won't
drink a
put
lot
the
of tea
Rage
now.
Flaves coffee in the scene anymore. I'll keep it down for you. Don't want to tempt you. This is you can't have this right
Yeah,
here.
no coffee. I don't drink soda that much anyway, so that's good.
Nice.
I can't have nothing with acidity. So no orange juice, no tomato juice. I can't have limes, lemons, oranges, fresh tomatoes. I can't eat any of that. Um, no starches, which is kind of hard. Um, I'm on a low carb diet, but I'm not supposed to be eating rice. And I tried eating some rice today, and it like kind of aggravated my stomach. But
Rice. Holy moly.
yeah, right. So usually the way my stomach has been working lately is that when I eat, and I can eat a little bit at a time now. It's not like I need a full blown plate, but
And you're Mexican, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So this is everything that's Mexican. You can't have rice, spicy food,
I can't have fried food.
You can't have any of that.
I can't eat pork. I can't have no red meat.
Oh my gosh. What a
So
nightmare.
basically, all I've been doing right now is chicken, fish, and turkey.
Mediterranean diet kind of thing.
No pork, no red meat, no spices. The only thing that I've been putting on my food is paprika and fresh garlic, and that's been okay lately. No rice. I tried eating rice today, and basically how my stomach works is that when I eat, it gets settled here. As the day goes by and I start moving around more, and I'm sitting down, like I was sitting down at the eye doctor today, and I heard my stomach going.
Ooh.
Everything was digesting, and people were looking at me like I'm like, it's my stomach digesting. They thought I had gas.
Why does it get is the tumor blocking the passage so that it's?
It was.
It's
not there no more. So I had the surgery. Yeah. So basically now, the part where they took off of my stomach was right by my esophagus area. So that's the very tender part. So actually, what they do is they fill you up with gas, and they blow up your stomach, so that your stomach gets big. So then, that's why I am still inflamed here. This is gonna take a while to come down, but around my waist, man, I can fit into. I'm almost into my pre-pandemic pants and clothes.
There you go.
But like up here, because your stomach is like right here. So basically, this is where it's all swollen, and everything up here, my upper body right here, is like swollen still. that's going to take about 2 months.
Did they, when they did that, were they able to remove that whole tumor that you just showed us?
They had to do it in sections because it couldn't fit through my mouth. So basically, there was an instrument going through my mouth. There was an instrument going through here. So I got 5 cuts. There's 1 cut here, 2 here, 1 close to my belly button, and 1 on the other side here. But then they had to go through my stomach or my mouth too as well. So I was basically, the surgery lasted maybe about an hour and a half. Everything went fine. But you had to be in the hospital and you had to be able to hold down and have a solid, well, not a solid meal, but you needed to, your stool needed to be solid before you left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 2 blood transfusions while I was in the hospital because I lost so much blood. The second time I went in, my blood pressure was like 77/39. I was about to fucking die. So I had 2 blood transfusions. I wound up getting 4 supplements, 4 days in a row of iron and potassium. The worst fucking pain I've ever been in my life is when they give you IVs in each arm, 1 of potassium and 1 of iron, and they're going through your body, and you're just like in so much pain because the medicine is so strong and it's going through your whole body, and you can feel it going through your arm.
So it's going through your whole. You can feel it, and it's painful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very painful. And at the same time, my arm wasn't bothering me anymore. My hip wasn't bothering me as much anymore because I had I had bone spurs on my hip, at the time. So none of it's bothering me. Everything is fine. I wasn't thinking about it. It's just fucking, dealing with that pain for 4 days in a row. And I knew when I was going to get it because as soon as they came and took blood out of me in the morning, 20 minutes later,
that's when they would do it.
Came in, and she would do it early in the morning, and I was so much in pain, man. It was just like, oh,
God, so crazy.
The worst pain ever.
They're just juicing you with the stuff that makes you, the nutrients that makes your body better, but they're going through at such a high rate. It's hurting and it's painful.
So they're actually trying to keep count of my blood work, and that's why I'm constantly going into the doctor's office, to the lab, to get my blood work done. And
well, technically, you don't have that tumor anymore, right?
I don't have it no more. But can something reappear again in the future? Possibly. You can't say never. Do I think about it? Can it reappear? Hell yeah, man. I think that's my only fear, is that something like this happens to me again and it comes back even worse. What if there's multiple in my stomach? Or what if there's something going on with my intestines? But I had the colonoscopy and they did a radiation x-ray of my whole stomach from my waist to my neck. And basically what they did was, after the surgery, they took out blood from me. They injected radiation into it, and then they reinserted into me. And as it was going through me...
Sounds like Iron Man stuff. Crazy.
Well, it made me feel fucking hot, dude, because I was sitting under this x-ray
like a microwave?
for 3 fucking hours, man. I was burning up, and they had me covered up, and all you can hear was for 3 hours straight, dude.
3 hours?
And I was like, 3 hours straight. And I was like,
God.
I wish I could have brought my earbuds and my music and everything, just to, and I was fucking humming music away for 3 hours, man. And then I couldn't hold it no more, man. I told the doctor, the technician, I was like, listen, man, I got to use the bathroom. They go, can you walk? I don't give a fuck if I can walk. I just need to go. And I ran so fast to the bathroom, man. And he goes, wow, you took long. I was like, well, you try holding your bladder for like 2 hours, man.
3 hours,
we're
dude.
almost done. We got about, it was that
and
bad.
You're on fire the whole time.
I'm burning up, man.
Like a freaking microwave inside your body.
I felt like a woman's just turning 50, which I'm
got the heat flash.
50, and I had the heat flashes, but I'm always hot, man. And people know me that I'm always in shorts all year round, no matter what. In the hospital,
Even in
man, I
Chicago,
was so
the windy
cold.
Chicago city.
Yeah, even in Chicago. When I was in the hospital dealing with this, I was so cold, man. I had to be in with 3 blankets. I had to have sweatpants on. I was cold, man. I had thick socks on, and then I had the medical socks over it. And I was cold, man. I was just like, that's not me. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna fucking die.
Oh
You
my
know,
god,
I'm
because you're
not
so
gonna make this
cold.
because I'm
But it's
cold.
cold as
Yeah,
hell as in the
my
hospital,
hands were.
anyways. They keep it really cold in there.
Oh, hell no, hell no. It was warm in there. They said, sir, we have it on 80 degrees in here, and I
What?
was like, wow,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I was
So you were like,
I was that
uh-oh.
cold, man. Yeah, I was cold. So I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom, man. And I couldn't go to the bathroom because they had me on a fucking liquid diet. So all I was doing was liquids, 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 liquids. So I was, you know, drinking chicken broth and eating Jello, and that's what I usually do now. It's like I got into a routine where I'll have one good meal, I'll have my protein shake, and just snack all day. But like now that it's almost 10 o'clock over here, it's like I used to constantly think about eating like right now before I went to bed, and
You
I ain't thinking
can't,
about
dude.
food, man. No, I can't no more.
Because it'll
It's
come
like I
up,
can't
right?
do that.
Like, I have trouble with acid
It
reflux when I
takes time
sleep.
Yeah,
You're
it
gonna
takes
have even
time
worse.
digesting. So I can't do anything. And if I do, it's got to be something thin and light, and it can't be heavy, like a yogurt, like a small cup of pecans, almonds, walnuts, raisins, dried cranberries. Um, yeah, I can't. My whole food selection sucks now,
Everything
man.
has
So
changed
yeah, it's
360
changed
degrees.
so, but it's for the better because I just, like I said, I got this second verge of life again, man.
Yeah,
And
you got a second.
I'm not
Technically,
gonna,
you don't
I'm
have
not
cancer,
gonna
bro. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not in the clear yet, so it could take a while. But this new medicine that I'm on, I might have to take it for the rest of my life. That's
Hmm.
the only downfall to it. So the other thing is I can never drink again either. So I can't drink no alcohol at all.
Well, that's
But
a positive. If you're like me,
it's a
that's a
positive. I
positive.
really don't need to drink. Man, I've done my fair share of drinking, man. I've done my fair share of partying, but I don't need to drink to have a good time at a party, man. It's like I can be the designated driver for everybody now.
Exactly. That's who
We
I
go
am.
out.
I'm the
But
designated driver for my
yeah,
wife.
yeah. So,
Crazy, man.
um,
You, my friend, are the dream guest. You've been amazing. I could stay on here for the next 4 hours and listen to you. You have the
no,
craziest
I think
stuff.
I can keep going too, man.
I
I know,
got to pick up my
I know.
daughter at 8 o'clock at the church, so I got to go.
I,
But dude,
I'm
if you're
not tripping about
just
it.
joining us, this, my friend, is my friend, Mr. Latin House, an amazing DJ and a cool A guy. Don't cuss, so the cool A guy. He's been so cool to me. I thank you for that. Number one, always been kind to me. He's gone through so much. He's lost his parents. He's lost his father and mother-in-law. He's gone through a divorce. All these things. He's suffered with cancer. My friend, your story reminds me of the book of Job. I don't know if you read the Bible at all, but it's like the book of Job. And now it's like a rebuilding. You're rebuilding your life. You're in your new condo. You're with your son. You're fighting. You fought through cancer. I'm gonna say the tumor's gone. I'm gonna predict you're gonna be streaming for many, many years. That's my prediction. And you're an amazing man. You're still raising cancer for other people. And at the same time, you had it basically. You're at the end of it yourself, still dealing with things, dealing with the new medication that you're probably going to be taking for the rest of your life, and you're still making it happen. My guest, Mr. Lattenhouse, is an amazing man. Don't forget me, him, DGS619, and probably Icy Vamp. May 30th is her birthday. June 5th is my birthday. It's the whole week. It's all about Blockbuster music. It's all about PCA. It's all about raising money. It's all about community. We talked about it last night with DGS619. You guys on stream, Juice Gang, you guys on Twitch, all of our friends, all of our community, all of our DJs, by being together, I'm getting chills right now. The thing that Twitch does for us is amazing. It keeps us together. It builds community. It's there when we need it. We're there for each other. And it's just an amazing, amazing community. And I'm happy and proud to be part of it. So make sure you follow Mr. Lattenhouse. Make sure you follow DGS619. And Mr. Lattenhouse, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, we'll be on for part 2 soon,
dude.
But we're gonna try to multi-stream on YouTube, Twitch.
Okay,
we're gonna do all the.
I'll get that thing. I have part of that. What you were talking about. I have a part of it, but I never went to the other edge of it.
I went to put the stream on there and it worked. Everything was going good. I was gonna stream.
Oh, it did work.
But we'll save that for another. Yeah, it worked.
Okay,
man,
so you know what's up then.
So I know what I got to do now. So
hell yeah, dude.
Next time we'll do that, man.
So we're gonna start having Mr. Lattenhouse conversations on the show all the time, like at least once a month.
Hey, we'll talk. We could talk about whatever, man. We could talk about that special person, you know, whatever.
Hell yeah, man. Let's do this. Let's do this, my friends.
Changed me. Why I'm so happy. So.
Oh, so we got a little love connection in the house as well, huh?
You're gonna have to wait for part 2.
Like I said, it's the Job story, ladies and gentlemen.
Go, man.
Part 2. I gotta go. He's gotta go. Juice gang gang. Juice gang gang. My friends, stay thirsty and not dangerous. Have a great one.